Okay, let's see if we're live this time. I don't know whether I was live or not before. It's Vickywright, Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, Australia. So, if it's okay with you, Sharon, we'll go live in this group just to keep it all together. And it is your group, so we'll just do it here if that's okay. So, as Sharon mentioned, we're going to be creating with the Perennial Postage bundle and the Perennial Lavender DSP, and we're going to be creating 3 cards as well as a scrapbook page. Okay, so I hope I'm okay now. So this is the page that I'm going to be creating. I create completely different to Sharon. I'm probably a clean crafter, but in saying that, I do like techniques as well. So this is the page we're going to be creating. Very simple, very easy, but with just a little bit of stamping, which I should have done beforehand, but that's all right. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this image and that image from the Celebrations Softly Sophisticated bundle. It's level 2, and we're gonna, to begin with, we're just gonna temporarily place this strip of DSP here so that I can sort of judge where to start our stamping. Okay, and we're gonna do our leaves and stems with Lost Lagoon. So we'll do the bottom first. Oh, I've done that pretty heavy. Just bear with me, eh? I'm hoping that we will get through this without any interruptions. So all I'm going to do is just randomly stamp these leaves, and I'm just going to turn it different ways. When you're stamping this, just allow room for your flowers. You don't really need any towards this centre, towards the centre, because it'll mostly be all covered up. I think that should be okay. If we need any more, we can come back. I'll put one there. I'll just clean this. If I don't clean it as I go, I tend to get it ink everywhere. So, and I'll just close this up. Then what we're going to do is stamp our flowers. Now I've stamped these flowers in Starry Sky and Orchid Oasis, just to give it a little bit of interest. So we'll do Orchid Oasis first, eh? Now what I tend to do is there's a little bud here and a little one at the top. I try and, that's not going to work, match all that up. So this may go out of eyesight for a little bit, just while I can't even see it. Just while I stamp. Just like that. So we'll just do this randomly. Maybe I should have done this in the daylight, Sharon. It's a pretty flower, this. Now, you can get these kits for free by spending $50 in my online store or Sharon's online store, and you got the choice of the card kits or the scrapbook pages, and you'll get 2 scrapbook pages and you'll get 2 each of the card kits. There's 3 designs and you'll get 2 of the kits each. Okay, one of the scrapbook pages will be my design and one will be Sharon's. But with the cards, you'll get, you purchase from Sharon, you'll get Sharon's cards, purchase from me, and you'll get my cards. Okay, so now we're going to change to Starry Sky. And again, we're just lining that little bud up. Line that bud up and you're pretty well right actually. You know you're gonna, it's a pretty good stamp set to line up. I haven't got my big buff head in the way. Maybe I needed one there, but we'll see how we go. Now, with my scrapbook pages, I don't well, I use the scrapbook, but any scrapbook pages I do now, I send down to my niece for her family and my nephew for his family, for the kids there. And they love it actually. Sometimes I've got photos on it and sometimes they're just blank. So that's all we're going to do. Then what we're going to do now is stick this piece of DSP. Now you could use any side, but we're going to use that side. I love checks, gingham. So, and I tend to use tear and tape adhesive when I scrap. I don't know why. That's just probably because it's the first thing I used when I first started. And then we're just going to stick this down. Making sure it's nice and straight. I'm very good at doing things crooked. Whoops. So we'll just sit it there for a bit, and that looks pretty straight to me. And then press that down. Okay. That's overlapping a bit there, so I'll just grab our scissors. And just snip that off. Then what we're going to do is bring in our our ribbon, if I can find it. and I'm going to use the Orchid Oasis. I think on this one I've used Starry Sky, but I think we'll use Orchid Oasis just to bring it in a little bit more. And we'll grab a couple of pieces of Terran tape. Just make sure I'm in. And then what we're going to do is put a piece about here and a piece about here. I'm just eyeballing this. Take that off. Put that there. Making sure it's nice and straight. And put that over there like that. Oops. Take your sticky lid off first. And just like that. Then what I tend to do then is grab a couple of more pieces of Terran tape. You could use mini glue dots, but I find the Terran tape sticks a lot better and will hold your ribbon. Okay, just like that. Don't take your sticky lids off, keep them like that. And that's it. Okay, then what we're going to do is bring in this piece of crumb cake. Now all the measurements will be in the PDF tutorial, which will be emailed to you at the end of the month, and your kits will be posted. Okay, now the PDF tutorials will be available for purchase if you want them. And we might just put one more just here, and look at that, I just had enough. Sticky lid won't come off. 1, 2, 3. And then all we're going to do is making sure that this is nice and straight. We're just going to stick this smack bang in the middle like that. Okay. And then we've got 3 pieces of, they look smaller actually, they are. That's all right, we'll just make them a little bit smaller. This size will be in the tutorial, not the size I've cut. Okay, so all we're going to do now, because I've run out of tape, I'm actually going to glue these down. Just like that. Now you can put the first one down in the middle if you want to. So I'm just eyeballing this again, just so it's nice and straight. And once I'm happy with it, I'll then press down. Okay, so that's that done. And as I said, we could do with another one up there, but I'll do that afterwards. Now, I've already die cut a rectangle from Basic White using the one of the dies. I think it's about the, let's have a look. It's this size here. 1, 2, 3, that size. Okay, so I've already done that. Now this is for your journaling. You can make it bigger if you want to, and we're going to stick it that way, okay? But we're going to pop this up. Let's pop it up if I can find our dimensionals. I think you have everything here. 1, 2, 3, 1 in the corner, 1 there. Now if you had a landscape photo, you could just put that straight across there if you wanted to. You could even chop it up into 3 pieces. That would be effective too. So all I'm going to do now is stick that smack bang in the middle, just like that. And then we are going to tie a little bow. Oh, maybe I didn't cut enough ribbon. Gonna be tight. I always seem to do my bows upside down. That way, I think they I just get them to sit a little bit better. Except I can't find it. I'll tie that later. Okay, so that's done. Then we're going to bring in our butterflies. So these are the butterfly accents. And as Sharon said, you could sponge all over these with different colours. But in my instance, I'm just going to pull them apart. And I want it facing that way, I think. One side is white and the other side is just a little bit off-white. So we're going to use that one. And we're going to bring in our sponge dauber. And we're going to bring in Orchid Oasis, eh? I love my sponge daubers, so when I use them, I sort of take off the excess before sponging or daubing over. Just be very gentle because they are very delicate. You don't have to do the whole butterfly if you don't want to. You can bring it out so that it's lighter on the wings. You can change your colour on the wings if you want. We could have done that. We could have made it Starry Sky, or Orchid Oasis and Starry Sky in the middle. And that's it. I'll just do some more here. So let's do that, eh? Let's do Starry Sky. We'll just do Starry Sky on the body. I'm not worried about changing my sponge dauber because it's a darker colour, so it's not going to contaminate too much. We'll just do the antenna, and we will bring out the colour just that little bit too. Okay. Now if you wanted to, this is just another way of doing it, you could then dab Versamark over the top of that, pour over clear embossed powder and heat set it if you wanted to, just to give it lots of shine and again a little bit more oomph. So I'm just going to then just put a little bit of glue down his centre of his body and just stick that right there, smack bang there. Careful that I don't get ink everywhere with the glue. And if you wanted to, you could pop him up and put a couple of mini dimensionals underneath, but I'm just going to leave it like that for the moment. Then we're going to do this bit here, okay? So I have die cut two shapes, one from Starry Sky and one from Basic White, and that's using this one here, okay? Whoops. And what have we got here? You Are Loved. Have I put that on a block? Always? No, so let's grab that. Okay. Whoops. Just like that. Now, to mask off this section, you could stick sticky tape over that, or masking tape, or a post-it note. But all we're going to do is grab our Starry Sky, and I'm just going to ink to the end of there. And watch me muck this up. Oh, I better not speak too soon. Now, I always practice on scrap paper first. And then I can adjust accordingly. So, this You Are Loved will just fit on there, okay? I've chopped off a little bit at the top, but it doesn't worry me that little bit. So we'll just clean this stamp. And then what we're going to do, grab this one, chop it in half, grab our glue, put a little bit down that end, a little bit down this end, and put that on there like that. Okay, just making sure it's nice and straight along the top, and the same for this one. And that's it. Oops, whoops-a-daisy. It's all stuck now. Just like that. And then we're going to pop this one up too. So we will just grab those and just put them there like that. Now, if you didn't want to stamp your sentiment, a sentiment like that, you could easily keep it blank and just put the year or the month there if you wanted to. Just another option. And we're just going to stick that down there like that. And that is our page. As I said, I'm going to tie that knot later, and I'll stamp another leaf there too, I think. So that's the page we've done today, and that's the page that we took it from. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed that. And as I said, this you could put on the side, or you could do a bigger one if you wanted to and put it along the bottom, depending how much journaling you want. Sometimes you can go into it in depth. No, if you're like me, I keep it short and sweet. Then what we're going to do is our cards. Now again, my cards are very different to Sharon's. I'm a very clean card maker, but I do like layers, and I do love chopping my DSP different ways. So this is the papers that we're doing. When I first get my 12 by 12 papers, I tend to take one piece of each to sign, and I will chop it into 6 by 6. And I will use those pieces until they're all gone, and before I start on to the other ones. So there are our 6 pieces, one side, and then there's your other side. Okie dokie. I'll bring in our first card, and I think we might take that off in case we get it everywhere. So our first card is this. So again, very simple, very easy. I've got lots of pieces already done. There's really no stamping on this one except for the sentiment. Now I have got 2 card bases because I'm not too sure which ones we'll use. Only because I've actually grabbed another piece of DSP instead of that one, just to give you an idea of how different they will look. So all we're going to do now stick this piece onto our piece of basic white. You could use either side, but I'm going to use this side. I am not a purple person, so I find this paper really hard to use, but in saying that, I'm going to use the whole pack. Now I'm just going to grab my Simply Scored scoring tool. You can use your paper trimmer if you want to, and all we're going to do is put it in here like this. I'm just going to find out where my first score line will be, which is at 2 inches 5 centimeters, and I'm just going to score down like that, and I'm going to do it again at 2 1/8 and then at 2 1/4. So those score lines are about 1/8 of an inch, which is about 0.3 centimeters apart. Then I didn't do that. We're not going to worry about that. What you would do is wrap your ribbon around this section first, adhere it behind the DSP, and then tie a small bow through it. Okay, the instructions to do that are on the PDF tutorial, but you always forget something when you're doing videos or lives. So now I've got a piece of crumb cake, and I've die cut the postage shape using, I think it's the second, oh, they're not the dies. It's this one here, okay, which is the second smallest in this bundle. Okie dokie. So then what we're going to do is we're going to stamp our sentiment, and we're going to use Orchid Grape. can find it. Gorgeous grape, here it is. That out of the way so I don't get ink on it. Just tap, tap, tap. And as I said, I always stamp onto scrap paper first. Now I'm going to bring this down a bit, okay? So I might be out of eyesight for a little bit, so just bear with me. And just like that. I've missed a little bit there, so what I'm going to do now is grab our marker. Gorgeous Grape, wasn't it? Yep. And I'm going to use the fine tip end. And I'm just going to draw that line in there like that. And you would never know. Then we will stick this to our piece of crumb cake. Now, as I said, my cards are pretty easy. But the paper does all the work for you. So that's done. We're just going to pop this up again, eh? If I can find my dimensionals. Whoops. And I'll put one in the middle for good measure. I'm making sure it's nice and straight. That's why I like our grid paper. We're just gonna put that smack bang there and then just press down once you're happy with your placement. Then what we'll do is might leave it like that, oh, I don't know. Oops. Let's do a purple one because I don't think we've got a purple one. Okay. So this will be really bright and in your face. I'm just going to burnish along that scored line. Put some glue on the back. I like the adhesive because it just gives you a little bit of leeway to move. Everyone's a little bit different. And we're going to grab our Purple Fine Shimmer Gems. I like these. I do like these. And our Doobie Jacker. Take your pick tool, and we're just going to put 3. I always do mine upside down, and we're just going to put 3. I think we'll use the Freesia ones, eh? Just here, 1, and we'll use the bigger ones, 2. Now I don't stick mine down straight away. I just let them sit there until I'm happy with how they're placed. Making sure that they're nice and straight, and then I press down. Okay? And that's those. So that's our first card done. Now I've got scraps for the inside and the envelope, but I'll do those later on. Okay? So where is our inside? That's the inside for that one. So that's that card, and of course silly me forgot to put the ribbon on. So, but that's it there, okay? And then that's the matching envelope, and then that's the inside, I don't know what that's for. Okie dokie, so we'll put those there. And that's those. Put all them aside. Then we'll do card number 2, if I can find it. Here it is. Card number 2. And again, this has got lots of bits and pieces. So we'll just score this, our base card, which is Crumb Cake. Okay. Put that aside. That's our card. We're going to use the stamp from the Softly Sophisticated Hello There. Again, I've used that same die to cut out this shape with basic white. And we're going to do that in Starry Sky. So we'll just do this while we're here, and then that's done. Again, it's just a nice font, this. It's a real pretty font. I'm just going to bring this down a bit. I'm sorry, I can't see the comments for some reason, but I'm hoping Sharon's helping me out there. And I'm not clever like everyone else. I can't do 2 things at once. So we'll put that aside there like that. Then what we're going to do, now as I said, I like to chop my DSP, and that's, now you could use this side if you wanted to as well, but we're going to use this side. So we're going to bring in our, I thought I had my paper trimmer, but I don't. So, let's grab a little mini, and I'm just going to randomly chop. No measurements, no nothing, I'm just randomly doing it. Okay, but I do keep my pattern, my DSP pattern, in order. So what we're going to do, they're both the same size. Now I have got a piece of white by the looks of it, but I don't know why I've done that. So what we're going to do is chop them, stick these pieces down onto our piece of basic white, but we're going to leave a small border around all the pieces. Okay, just like that. Making sure that's nice and straight. I'll let you in on a little secret in a minute when I finish. I'm just leaving, again, a very narrow gap between each one. Yep, that's what I was hoping for. Okay, so if you do this and you find that your DSP is too wide, chop from the outside pieces, or the edges I should say, not from, I'll just do this and I'll show you. A little bit more, eh? I should take that off, it's annoying me. Let's just try and, I don't want to break it. So we'll just do a little bit more. So if you, that is really crooked. If it's too wide and you have to chop some off, chop from the outsides, either side. Don't chop from the middle because you will lose your pattern. Okie dokie. And that's it there. So that's all we're going to do. Then what we're going to do now is I've got a piece of white here, so we're just going to put that across there like that, just to make it look a little bit neater. You could have this a different colour if you wanted to, but I have a lot of white on my cards. Just like that. And then just cut your excess off. Then what we're going to do is grab our embossing folder. Here, Marnie, this will be for you if you're still there. And we're going to emboss this whole piece. Okay, making sure it's nice and straight. Now just bear with me, my table is Willy Wonka, so I've just got to disappear for a couple of seconds and we're just going to emboss this folder, this piece of cardstock. And that's it there. So that's the embossing folder. That's the part of the bundle of Softly Sophisticated. It's a gorgeous embossing folder actually. And that's what it looks like. Okay, it's pretty. Then what we're going to do, just see if I've got any more tape. So what we're going to do is just chop off a couple of pieces. And we're just going to put this, like we did on our scrapbook page. Take off the sticky lids. Put it across that piece of white strip that we did, okay? Just there like that. And we're just going to chop that excess off. Grab a piece of tape again and put it across. Just like that. And that will hold it into place. Okie dokie. Then we'll just make sure that that's nice and straight. Okay. Then we're going to stick this to our base card. Now, because I've used an embossing folder, I tend to use a little bit more adhesive than I would normally do, or you could use your tear and tape if you wanted to, or your Stampin' Seal Plus. Now I've just taken the sticky lid off that. And we're just going to put that there like that. Just like that. That's not straight. Okay. Then I have already die cut a circle from the Starry Sky using the Stylish Shapes dies. They're my go-to dies. So we're going to do that. And we're also going to punch a circle from basic white with the 2 3/8 inch circle punch. Now I have used Crumb cake on the original card, but I think with the white it'll pop it just that little bit more. And then what we're going to do is stamp our flowers. So we're going to do these and this one. And the leaf. And that one. And we're going to do this in, that looks like it's shaded spruce, but I think we might use Pretty Peacock, eh? Oh no, it's Pretty Peacock. Oops, I've done that too. Just like that. And then we'll bring in our gorgeous Grape. What did I do with it? And our flower. Now, what I tend to do is there's a little bud. So I line that little bud up. And if you can line that bud up, that little bud, you should be right. Okay. So we'll just tap, tap, tap that. And that's it. It's a pretty little bud too, actually. Close this up so we don't get ink everywhere. Glue this onto our circle, leaving a little bit of stitching showing around the border. And we're going to pop this up, eh? I don't want the mirrors, these ones. We'll just put 4 on it, eh? And we'll just put that smack bang in the middle, just there like that. We're going to pop this up with a dimensional on the right hand side and a little bit of glue on the left hand side, eh? And we might put we'll see how that goes. We've just got that there, yeah. I'm going to put a dimensional smack bang, if I can get it to stick. I'm just going to put it at the bottom for a little bit of support. That's just a mini one, and then we're just going to stick that there like that. And to finish it off, nearly finished off. Oh, I'm all thumbs tonight. We're just going to tie a nice little bow. Just like that. Grab a mini-dimensional, what are these things called? Mini glue dot. Grab our take a pick tool. I always fold these over into a circle and I just put it straight onto our card there like that. Grab our little bow and stick it smack bang over that mini glue dot. Okay, then we're just going to finish it off with a couple of shimmer pearls, gems. So we'll put one here, one there, and we'll put one there. I might move this one down if I can, about there. And that's card number 2. And again, I will finish off the envelope and the inside after we finish. So that's the inside. I always like to finish them off. If I've got scraps of DSP, I always finish them off with DSP. Same with the envelope. But you could also stamp if you wanted to. So now our last one is, I've done a lot of this as well. Our base card is Freesia. Freesia bubble bath. That looks a bit wide, doesn't it? No. Okay. We have got those scraps are for the inside and the envelope, so we'll put those aside. We'll put one of these aside because one is for the inside. We will put the purple, I think it's gorgeous Grape. And again, what I'm going to do is randomly chop our DSP. I'm just going to put this back if I can. Yep. I'm not even going to measure. I'm just going to chop it. Just like that. As I said, I like chopping our DSP. And again, we're going to keep our pattern correct. And we're going to stick it onto a piece of basic white. Now you don't have to chop it if you don't want to, but bear in mind when you receive your kit, your basic white may be a little bit wider, so you may have to trim a little bit off. I got that the right way yet. And again, we're just leaving a very narrow border, which is probably about 1/8 of an inch, which is about 0.3 centimetres. Okay. And I'll do it this way. I do a lot of things side on. It just makes it easier for me. And there you go. I've done that too wide. So we're going to chop a little bit of that off. Just a fraction. Might do a little bit more. And we're going to put this onto our paste card. For someone that doesn't like purple, there's a lot of purple in this in these papers, and I've used a lot of purple tonight. Then what we're going to do is stamp our sentiment. Hey, what have I done with it? Here for you always, and we're going to do that in crumb cake, which I don't have. Wow. So again, I'm just tapping, and I'm going to test it on scrap paper first. Fingers crossed. Oh, that's pretty good. Close that up, and I'm actually going to trim this a little bit, hey? I don't know why I've cut such a wide piece. And that's crooked. Oh no. Looks okay. I'm just going to cut. And all we're going to do now is put this like that, hey? Just like that. Easy peasy. And we're going to pop this up. Oh, they're the small ones. We don't want them. We just want to put a couple across the middle. And I've made it that the crumb cake panel goes to the white, the end of the white. So that's probably a good thing. I'll chop some of that off. And I think that looks a little bit crooked. I don't know what it is, but I've got to do it upside down. And that looks better. Then we've got a little circle here that I've again die cut with the stylish shapes, and this is the bubble bath again. So we're just going to pop this up. Thank you for sticking around. I think we're just about finished. I appreciate it. But I hope you've enjoyed them. They're a little bit different. And we're just going to stick this underneath here like that. Okay? And then stick that down. Then we'll grab our butterflies. What have we got here? I've got a big one here. No, let's go for the little one, eh? These are pretty, these. Whoops. And I'm just going to leave it white. Okay. You could colour it if you wanted to. You could clear emboss that too if you wanted to. You could even put clear wink over the top of it, but I'm just going to leave it white. And we're just going to put a little bit of glue smack bang down the middle, and we're just going to stick that there like that. And to finish it off, we'll grab our fresh Freesia, and again I'm going to do it upside down. We're going to grab one big one, just there, and two little ones, eh? 2, 3. And once you're happy that they're nice and straight, I always press down then. And that is our last card. So, as I said, I will do the insides later, but this is the inside of the card, just like that. So that's number 3. Number 2. And number 1, where we forgot, or we didn't forget, I did, to put our ribbon on. And our scrapbook page. And that's it. I hope you've enjoyed that. Thank you so much for joining me. And as I said, shop in either myself, on my online shop, or Sharon's online shop, and you'll get the card kits or the scrapbook pages. Okay, thanks very much for joining me. I really appreciate it. And enjoy your night. See ya. Hooray.